do you help them understand why being genuinely themselves is actually the best business strategy ever? Because, and it's okay to tell the truth on me because I pushed back on you too, and you were like, no, you have got to do you.
You, it's a great question because, and you did push back on me. And it
It
is a
was
great question because,
scary.
and I don't think this is unique to financial advisors. I think most business owners, small business owners, even large, huge corporate conglomerates, they overlook the value of the brand. And obviously, this word is thrown around so much where it's, oh, the brand, I am my own brand. And people say crazy things like that. And so my barrier, obviously, to talk to a financial advisor about how I believe that most brands in the definitely in the financial service sector are, I'm just going to say it, are wrong. I think most financial advisors prefer to look like huge corporate conglomerates, even though they have a staff of less than 10 people. They prefer to be competing with the larger corporations in the space because they think that's how they should look. And I
And that's
and
what
I
we're
don't.
taught. That's the
Yeah,
mentality. Yeah.
and it's the entire industry. So if everybody in the industry is telling you something, and then all of a sudden weirdo punk rock Randall comes along and says, I don't agree with that, it's difficult to say, okay, Randall, let's do what you want to do. So what I had to come up with was a method to speak to the value that was different. Most people cannot vet their own brand. So the first thing I had to come up with was a means to vet the brand you have. And this all came to me very intuitively. A lot of the reason it became intuitively is because I have a background in professional wrestling. And
Hmm.
professional wrestling is very basic storytelling, and a lot of it has no dialogue. So I pulled all that stuff from my professional wrestling background and said, what questions do we need to answer about the financial advisor to really optimize their brand? And I don't believe that an advisory should look like a huge corporate conglomerate. I think Chris Everett's financial advisory should look more like Chris Everett than a financial advisory. I believe that about all financial advisors because when I looked at the space, I realized most financial advisors don't do different things, especially in the independent space. Now, when you're dealing with a huge corporate conglomerate, you could win that blind taste test every single day of the week. But if you go mano a mano with another independent financial advisor, now it's going to be about who the client likes better. And I think that's how people make their decisions on who to do business with in that space is who they like better, because who they like better is probably who they trust more. So
Okay,
I had,
that's, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're
no,
in,
you're good.
when you are me, it's important that I like you too, that I want to work with you. And interjecting that in my practice, of course, I've done it for years now, but that was a scary thing to do. But it has paid such huge dividends because when you're working with people that you really know you can help, it's
Yeah,
not work. It just becomes such a joy. And they feel it
absolutely.
too. Yeah.
And I think that's that authenticity. And I actually, when you and I first met, I feel like we hit it off right away, because
We did.
I'm not going to speak for you here, Chris, but I feel like in that space we were both in, we both felt like weirdos, and then we're like, hey, let's talk. And then it was like, oh, let's hang out the majority of the night and just talk about stories and branding.
Yeah.
And you are charismatic. And I think most people, like my former self, sell themselves short. In this space, it's not easy for a financial advisor to see their attributes and their credits. Like I was able to be shown to me by the punk rock scene and later a mentor that really pulled it out of me. And let's be real, that was only in the last 5 years that
Yeah.
this mentor really showed me my own success. So between pro wrestling and this mentor showing me my success, I had a formula to get it to show advisors how to vet their own branding. And it
It,
was,
go ahead.
you want me to hit it or you want to, you
No,
got
hit
something
it.
here?
Hit it. Hit it.
It was, who are you as a human being? How do you see yourself? What are your core ideals? What struggles have you overcome in your life? Like my alcoholism and drug abuse. Poverty, right, is always a great one. And why are you in this business outside of financial motive? And tell these stories, like, and don't give me just the greatest hits. I want to tell the entire story and not pull it back out like, You hear a lot about this story branding stuff these days, and you
Mhm.
story branding certified. And the thing I mostly disagree with the story brand is the story branding pulls the story out of it. And most of the time it almost pivots the client as the hero. And I just don't believe that. I believe that you're the hero. Whatever traumas, whatever triumphs you've had as a human being is going to be a direct benefit to your clients outside of what you know in financial services, but it shows them the driver.